So, should you play FTB interactions? I recently finished interactions, and I think if you're looking for a GregTech pack and are also interested in magic mods, then definitely consider FTB interactions. To begin with, I played on version 2.0.10, hard difficulty, and the only other change I made to the pack was the addition of Trousers edition of Applied Energistics, which adds some quality of life features and stability improvements to Applied Energistics. The total playtime to reach creative storage key was 341 hours. Some other things to mention at the beginning here too. If you're put off by magic or think it can be avoided, then perhaps this isn't the pack for you. However, if you like the idea of automating and solving automation challenges which incorporate both tech and magic, then Interactions does a very good job in integrating them both. The start of the pack is highly customised and starts you off in the Void World. The first major goal of the pack is to craft the portal and escape to the overworld. In the Start and Void dimension, mobs don't spawn naturally, and therefore it makes a worthy base location. However, as I built a Void base in Omnifactory, I wanted to do something a bit different this time round. I didn't particularly care for this type of start, but it was unique and gave a good little introduction experience to the pack. The quest book is also well written, gives very useful quest rewards and hints all the way throughout, so it's worth reading. Interactions also makes use of the so-called game stages, where certain mobs and things are unlocked based on the quests you complete. There are also custom mobs like invisible creepers and endermen that can teleport away the player. Once you reach space, mobs will also begin to ignore light levels, although there are multiple ways to deal with this. But be prepared to die a lot, especially in the early game. You also can't sleep to skip nights, which is quite frustrating at first. But again, you can later on mitigate this with the effect of the Celestial Manipulator, Eclipse Clock, or simply by using night vision, and a Lucerna Astral Sorcery ritual to prevent mob spawns. Once you reach the overworld, you'll want to start collecting resources, which have been set up in custom ore clumps scattered throughout the world and marked with plants above the surface, which will tell you what you can expect to find below. The questbook marks all of these out for you, although of course some are more rare than others, only appearing in certain biomes and planets. I like the implementation of this type of ore generation, although this more or less completely eliminates classic caving, as instead it's much more efficient just to dig down and mine an entire ore vein. Of course, GregTech Community Edition plays a major role in the pack, where you'll be crafting through the various tiers of circuits and machines from ultra low voltage to ZPM and UV. Unlike in Omnifactory, you must use GregTech power generation, which starts off with steam which you can use to power turbines. Then the questbook will recommend you pump oil and refine several times to create a more efficient fuel which you can burn in separate tiers of diesel generators. The oil refinement uses liquid starlight and requires integration of magic mods, which I thought was a nice synergy. All of the major magic mods are in the game: Astral Sorcery, Thaumcraft, Blood Magic and Botania. All of these are required to complete the quests and progress, and it's always fun to play with these mods. In this pack though, some things are gated, disabled or changed. For example, you cannot grow Astral Sorcery rock crystals in Starlight. Instead, you must use one of the modular machinery multi-blocks to grow and duplicate them, which is locked until a little later in the game. Botania mana generation is also limited in the beginning, only giving you access to the Dandelifion or the Petropetunia. I went with the Dandelifion to begin with. Blood Magic also has an integration with Deep Mob Learning, where you can use your data models in the DMA to generate life essence for your network. Although if you decide to fully automate Blood Magic for lots of life essence later in the game, you should look at swapping this out for rituals, as the DMA is limited in speed. However, this isn't actually required, as you could use chickens instead. And yes, the chickens. These little guys play a big part of the pack. Some are optional quality of life things like concrete and mana chicken, and some are essential like the gassy chicken, which can actually let you skip parts of GregTech chemistry to produce easy oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen. I really wasn't sure what I thought about the chickens at first, and if you saw the previous video, I hate these guys, as some of them are only found in dungeons and I was looking for them for hours. But if you're not going for all the quests, you don't need to find them, and it's optional. But the chickens offer many resource generation options, such as Starlight, LP, Liquid Nightmares, Radon, Latticite and Infinity. In the end, I think chickens are very unique to the pack, and they give you easy access to resources after you unlock and craft them. Applied Energistics is in the pack, but it's gated very heavily and you won't have access to it until after you reach space and set up your orbital miner. This might put some people off, as it's very tedious with the GregTech crafting early game without it, but there are logistics pipes in the pack, which I never actually set up, as I kept thinking I was closer to 82 than I actually was. So if you're going to play this pack, invest early in logistics pipes automation. This will make your early game much more tolerable. I do wish the pack gave access to 82 a little sooner, but it makes it very satisfying when you do finally unlock it and set up your network. Channels are enabled here and was another consideration when setting up the base, but this is a fairly simple thing to get around with the use of P2P tunnels. Applied Energistics is where you can really start ramping up production of resource generation and automation, which is one of my favourite parts of the game. Advanced Rocketry is used to gate access to the 3 major locations you will need to visit and unlock, not including the End or the Nether. And Luna is the first destination, which gives you access to many different materials, ores and dungeon loot. Also, after Luna, this is where mobs start to ignore light levels. The other 2 planets, Euclides Prime and later Aurelia, must be unlocked by fusion crafting the artifacts to be able to discover and warp your space station in orbit of the planet. These planets are very abundant in resources and grant many useful rewards and options for progression. I actually enjoyed this type of gating of materials and thought it was well thought out and implemented. The end of the pack I thought was pretty balanced and you didn't require a lot of AFK time, and there's many options to increase the speed of machines and resource automation. One quick tip though, do not void or waste toluene. You need lots of TNT for neutronium in the end. So overall, I very much enjoyed playing FTB Interactions and I would absolutely recommend the pack. It's not a short experience, but it'll offer you many hours of fun, challenge and some frustration, but it's very rewarding to complete. Speaking of completion, technically I can't say that I've completed all of the quests yet, so let's change that and finish the last remaining ones in the quest book. First ones we're going to start with is the Infinity Armour, and to make this we need Boots of the Traveller. Then we can fusion craft those into the Boots of Infinity. Next we have to make the full Draconic set, which requires the full Wyvern set. So there's the chest piece, the leggings, the helmet, and the boots. And the last Draconic piece is the Staff of Power. Aha! I guess we also need the rest of the Infinity Armour, which is done in the assembly line with our Draconic set. And remember, we have creative storage keys, so there's not really much point in doing this, but I want all the quests. Alright, so the assembly line's crafting. We should have the rest of our Infinity gear. Yep, there's the leggings, and the helmet, and the chest piece. And 3 more quests. What do you think? Pretty cool armour set, huh? Also super quick with this on. Next up is the Creative Energy Cell. And the quest. The next creative item is the Creative Model Learner. Aha! The next one that we need is the Creative Mill, which takes an unstable ingot. So I got some of the nuggets out of the blast furnace. We're just going to duplicate these, craft the stable ingot, and get our Creative Mill. Another quest complete. And last one is the Creative Mana Pool. Aha, Creative Mana Pool. And I guess we missed one here. There is the Naquada Reactor Mark 1, which we didn't actually make. So let's just request one of those. And get the last quest in the Creative tab. But we have just one more left, and that is the Fusion Reactor Mark 3, which is this thing. But we already set up the recipe for that last episode, so let's request one of those things. And we also need the casings for it, which we have one of each, so let's grab some of those as well. They're in these barrels. There we go. And the Fusion Reactor. And you know what, I think we'll claim all of our quest rewards as well. Let's hit the claim all button on the quests. 140 rewards to claim. Oh man, that's a lot of items. So we were just missing an output hatch for the Fusion Reactor quest. And we're still missing 2,500 eggs, which we have... Oh, 2,800 here. We have to pick up all of these eggs. Is this going to be a full inventory of eggs? No way. Almost. Almost a full inventory. Oh wait, I guess it is. That was only 2,300. Hey, there we go. We got all chapters completed. And now we got the check mark for every single quest, 100% of the game. So yeah, I guess this is it for our FTB interactions. I've really enjoyed playing this pack. and thank you so much for all the support on the channel. From the poll that was on the last two videos, you guys wanted to see Divine Journey 2, which has won by about 11 or 10 votes by now. It was actually quite close. I was watching it the day it came out, and GregTech New Horizons was winning until the morning after, and then yeah, Divine Journey 2 took over. So that's what we're going to be playing. I'm really excited to get started with that, actually. But obviously a large portion of you guys didn't want to see Divine Journey 2. I hope you're going to stick around anyway to check that series out, but if not, that's okay. It also doesn't mean that you'll never see GregTech New Horizons or any of the other mod packs on the list on this channel in the future, as I would like to play and complete those ones as well. And one last thing, I have set up a Discord server, so if you're interested in joining that, the link will be in the description. I'm still trying to get things figured out and set up over there, but if you're interested, check it out. So yeah, with that, I'll see you in the next few days probably for Divine Journey 2. Thank you all for watching.